You need a warm up. It's 100 degrees outside. Actually, no, it's only 90 now.
Of
It's only
course, exactly. It's
67
a
here.
nice 70,
Nice.
nice 70 here in Toledo, Ohio. I mean,
What episode is this?
350. I got 350.
350?
350.
Goddamn Loch Ness monster.
I got 350.
350. Wow.
Good lord, that's incredible.
Even the
350.
comedian gets that far, Aaron.
All right. It's 350. Everybody
Who would
ready?
have thought? Who would have thought the Power of Pain would have turned into this?
Damn.
Damn.
We've come a long way.
All the references today.
I
Still going.
buffered it with about 6 Virtue's Rages before.
Not enough rage can be contained.
Yeah, long show, folks.
We got a long one. Let's go.
Dynamite.
Everybody ready to rock and roll?
It's Tuesday.
And you know what that means.
It's a NoDQ review.
Yeah.
Welcome one, welcome all. We are here for an episode 350 of the NoDQ review. I'm the Cleaver Colin Andrew, hosting hour one of this show. Aaron, hit my music and let's kick this thing off, shall we? I didn't hear a damn thing, but welcome to the NoDQ review. I am the Cleaver Colin Andrew. This is, again, episode 350, and I'm here for the first hour running this thing. Joined tonight by the elite panel. We got the original review moderator, Virtue, in the house tonight. Good to see you, my man. Jeff Meacham, in transit, with a dope t-shirt. The simple man, Noah Foster. And as always, Aaron Rift. Gentlemen, how are we tonight? Jeff, how's it going, buddy?
I am unfortunately not in transit as hoped. My train got canceled, as did the one after it. So I'm actually live from downtown Los Angeles. God help me. In limbo, not in transit. Although I'm not going to limbo because you only be seeing that nonsense. Always a joy to be part of Team NoDQ in any fashion, and the NoDQ review is always a welcome addition to my Tuesday. So let's get it going, brother. Good to see you as well, and everybody.
Thanks for being here, man. Sorry about your troubles there with the transportation issues, but
Such is the life. But
you're still here.
That's it, brother.
You're still here. Over to the other side of the state, Mr. Noah Foster. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for being here. How are you?
Doing well, Colin. Good to be here once again with the NoDQ Galaxy and Fam on a milestone for the review. Episode 350 for those that know, or now you already know. Good to be back here. It's been an insane week so far with work. Glad to know my schedule continues to work out me that I can still take part in this. Always a fun time to be back with the crew, and I'm looking forward towards the conversation for the first hour or so before I bid you adieu. So I'm ready to get right into it.
All right, man. It's good to see you. Sharp dressed. I don't know how you wear a suit all the time. I still don't. Like, I have to wear normal shorts with a belt for a few hours and I'm pissed. So I don't know how you do it all the time. But
I just keep my closet organized and just pick the next shirt and the next tie and just go for 1 of 6 blazers, and I have 4 pair of slacks. It's as simple as that.
well, good on you, sir. Good on you. Better man than me. Over to Virtue, my dog. How you doing, bro?
What's up? Here we are, 350, and it's nice not to be moderator for this. And I can even you're leaving after the first hour, right, Colin?
Yeah, I got some dad things to do. School is, in session.
I'm gonna pick
and,
up the slack because I'm leaving after the first hour. Gino or Aaron, but that's why we have all these people to do this, so I can relax once in a while. So I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, thanks for being here. And again, I know this was, something that you, along with Aaron, started 350 episodes ago. So I just want to say congratulations to you on this milestone as well.
Vito too. Wasn't Vito on?
Yeah. I reached out. He didn't reach back. It's fine. We'll try to get him back on soon. But again, like it says underneath my name tag right here, the Big Vito brand. Make sure you go check them out. Uh, you know, again, great friend to this channel, to this company, to this family. So, again, thanks for being here, Virtue. I'll get back to you here soon. Over to Boss Man Aaron Rift. How you doing up in Michigan, man?
I'm doing well. Great to have everybody on for tonight's 350th episode of the No DQ review. We've been going at it now since I believe the beginning of 2018. It's been quite a ride, and here we are, 350 episodes later. It's been an interesting period in wrestling. We got Clash in Paris coming up, and for 350, as we do every 50 episodes, we let the people decide our topics. People can super chat any wrestling topic, and the panel will answer it. And then we got our second hour. We'll have the panel rotate as we do every 50 episodes. Mean Gino will be moderating for that second hour, and we will have some other people on to discuss wrestling. Stay tuned for that. If you are watching live, please spread the word, tell a friend. We might be on for a while. We'll see how things go tonight. Colin, any thoughts that are on your mind right now that you just want to get out as far as wrestling goes? Any rants? Anything on your mind that you want to get off your chest? Like, how are you feeling about the state of wrestling right now? Are you happy? Are you pissed?
I'm decent with it. So I actually did watch AEW's pay-per-view this past weekend, and I have subtle notes. Again, pretty damn long. Like they're just super long. The match that I really wanted to see was the Adam Copeland and Christian match. But apparently the streaming person that I use didn't have the feed up at the time. So I was at work. I wasn't paying $30 or $40, whatever it was, to watch something that I couldn't fully pay attention to. Okay. So I had to do what I had to do. I did not like the dual injury angle like you brought up. Um, but overall, it was a decent pay-per-view. I was surprised that if people are going to be super chatting to run the show that we haven't gotten it yet, because normally it's fresh out the gate. We got two, three, or four. Um, I know it's a little bit of a rehash for you, Aaron, but again, it was a big pay-per-view. A lot of things did happen. Will Ospreay has been officially written off TV. Swerve Strickland is going underneath the knife for knee surgery. We have a random new tag team champions in AEW. Like, I saw someone call me Brody King earlier, but no. That's just kind of random to me. I don't like the fact that we have so many dual champions in AEW holding Ring of Honor belts and holding AEW belts at the same time. But there's enough belts going around. So I guess let's just start off until people start chiming in with different topics. Let's just start off with the overall how everyone felt over with the AEW pay-per-view from London. I will start with my good friend Noah Foster, who is a big-time AEW enthusiast and is one of the best play-by-play guys I've seen in the business. So take it away, Mr. Noah, and let me know your thoughts on the overall pay-per-view.
First off, that's nice, but I just have fun talking about wrestling, the storytelling, the science, and overall the showcasing. I absolutely loved it. Phenomenal atmosphere in the O2. Crowd was red hot for the entire night. Time is never a factor with me when it comes to professional wrestling. Then again, when you're really found in the Japanese wrestling scene, you're willing to watch the biggest shows at a time in the middle of the night here on the East Coast. Time should not be a factor for you here when a pay-per-view starts at 1 p.m. in an afternoon on a Sunday here on the East Coast. I thought that it was very dynamic, very diverse across the wrestling board. It gave a real flair to Forbidden with the fact we had Stardom, CMLL, and NJPW throughout, and there was some unique dynamics. I didn't really think any matches felt the same. I thought it was pretty well paced versus other ones as well. Definitely was some great surprises to add to stories, the ongoing wars in the women's division with Jamie Hayter back. I absolutely love that. Wardlow, now part of the Don Callis family. Obviously, he's going to take the place of Brian Cage for the time being. Being back in that insurance role, but I think he could do better as a heel versus a baby face. Since Don Callis is all about power, I think this dynamic could work for him. With the fact that Will Ospreay and Swerve have been two of the pioneers to lead AEW through quite a prosperous year. It's time for the rest of the roster to step up. It's a huge opportunity for anybody to fill those spots. And I kind of thought it was unique that they ended on a very dynamic note of, okay, happy ending. Not, we're going to ride up your hometown boy, bruv, the hard way. So, yeah, it does add to the fact that the Death Rider dynamic is probably going to go a little longer. But at the end of the day, I don't think it ends until you see an end with Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. That's how it all started in the first place. For the Women's World Championship, there is not a more polarizing, dynamic, driven character that could work with anybody than Timeless Toni Storm. So her winning was the right call, and I think her winning via submission made even more of a shock factor because I bet a lot of people thought Athena was going to take it. And Jeff, you grew me up on pure wrestling. We talk about the science of technical wrestling. Naja McGee and Saxon Majura probably give me my favorite pure match I've ever seen as a professional wrestling fan for generations to study. So overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the pay-per-view and covering it. I have only one little nitpick. You guys saw the tag triple threat like I did, right? That finish, it felt like it was sudden, not properly executed. And at the long-term storyteller, Hurst and Duquesne and Ricochet and crew, I get why they did that. But I'm kind of surprised the newest tag team on the scene won, but at least it's two AEW guys, not former WWE talent. So maybe AEW is trying to push more of their actual roster. You think about the champions right now with the likes of Kyle Fletcher, of course, TNT champion. Now we got Bandito and we got Brody King right now. We, of course, have Thomas Toy Storm still leading the women's division. But again, she more so made herself an independent than WWE ever did. So overall, I love the pay-per-view. I think one match, I'm like, what do we do with the tag team division now? But other than that, I'm looking forward to seeing what's next as we head all out. And I don't think we're going to thrust Christian Cage and Adam Copeland into the title scene, which is what I like. I want to see it slowly built in. Because as far as I'm concerned, there's still not quite brother chemistry yet, but it's still pretty awesome to see them tied together. Loved it.
All right. Well, thank you, Noah. Personally, to me, Wardlow's return was kind of a waste. Him linking up with the Don Callis family, woohoo! Like, what does that mean? Absolutely nothing. Like, he's just another big man in a group standing around doing nothing, like Lance Archer and everybody else who's in that group. So honestly, it really didn't mean a damn thing, and which upsets me because Wardlow is one of those guys that I really had an eye on in AEW. Like he could be somebody, and now you're linked up with an NWO 2000 type of BS group that is not going to do anything because it's just wasted talent. Um, so that sucks because I was really looking forward for him to come back and do something big, and especially the fact that he's from like my local area,
I think
you
that's
know,
where the extra
within
touch is coming from. Again,
like you know
absolutely
what I
understand
mean, like
wrestling. Yeah, I got you.
I want to see him do something cool for his area because I know the town that he grew up in. It's nothing. It's a half an hour away. Like I was just hoping for something better. And it was so just drawn out. Like how long can you stand there and just slowly take off everything and flex 300 times and like, you beat up a manager. Like, it all kind of just felt like a little bit of a waste for me, especially when they had him connect with the Callis family. But thank you, Noah. I'm going to move on to Mr. Meacham.
Yeah, you honestly covered the only one real bitch I had with the show is Wardlow finally returns and he's once again the muscle for a faction. Colin, you're a muscle guy. It made me think of a really popular song. Ward, Low, huh, what is he good for? Absolutely nothing. Like he's been brought back and he's just another face in the crowd. It's kind of ridiculous that he's just been made to be. I'm trying to get closer so I'm not keep having people in the background. Sorry, folks. Um, I don't understand why they booked him that way. It makes no sense to me. Other than what was just put up on the comments that was Tony one was another big guy or a star, but they're not him be a star. It truly makes no sense to me. I like the tag title change. The finish was what it was, but I'm glad that we've got a little bit of a surprise. I did not expect Bobby and Shelton lose so quickly. I was like, oh, okay, it's different. It was unexpected. Um, the Death Rider thing continuing kind of is what it is for me. Like you said, until we get the definitive confrontation between Darby and Moxley, we're in for the long haul. It's kind of like this show. It's going to be a long one.
Whoops. All right. Well, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, I mean, again, and I'm already kind of over Darby and Moxley's little toying with each other already too.
Same.
The whole Death Riders thing is just like,
It's a slow ride, Colin. At the end of the day, the biggest thing to look at AEW for, MJF, Heyman, and Page. Those two have defined AEW since they won and still are.
But
Which
they're
is
not
fine.
They're not the main events, even though he's the world champion. They're not the main events.
Well, it was lights out. So constitutionally, how do you follow a lights out match if it's not, in regards to AEW's liability?
Who
You're not going to
cares?
follow a lights out match.
Who cares? It's a world championship match. Your world championship match should be the last match of every freaking pay-per-view. No matter what. No matter what.
There are rare exceptions to that rule when you have the star power of Rock and Hogan. That's one thing. When you have the world title,
they don't.
Death Riders, exactly. They don't have that big star power. So they should. It's not a matter of, okay, well, it's this lights up. It has to be last. No, you just book better. Christ.
I was literally figuring that lights out film was going to be a blood and guts dynamite once again, if I'm being honest.
Well, sure.
But
I don't know. Once it got to that certain point, I was like, put a fork in me. I'm done. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't. That was a little rough to watch with the ear and the fork. I'm like,
And fork or a skewer or some sort of utensil. And you have one of those.
Anything.
I mean, he is the cleaver. He knows a thing or two about
I was
utensils.
going to say, yeah.
Don't give John Moxley ideas.
You got plenty of options where you be. There you go.
Yeah. It's crazy watching that and ripping heads off of different things that need prepped out and deshelled, and it's just I don't know. But anyways, back to wrestling.
Way too much fun with the references.
Yes,
they're having fun with the references, and that's what it's about.
The sad part is Scorpio is 100% right, and that's so sad. NWO 2000, had it been done properly, even the way it was done is still better than this Death Rider nonsense.
It's what it is, Jeff. In this day and age where you don't have to work as hard or be as creative to draw someone's attention, even if they don't necessarily want to see it. Doesn't take a lot to get a person's money nowadays.
I guess not, but if Rod and Tyler are going to keep, being involved in booking, they gotta step up their shit too.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Virtue, I know AEW is not always your cup of tea. I know you were not paying for the pay-per-view. I know you probably saw some clips over on Twitter. Any thoughts from what you have seen or
look,
read?
I'm not, I know I have my Virtue army out there that is going to expect me to bash AEW, but I'm not going to do that. But you're right. It's not my cup of tea. I'm really about 100% disconnected from it. Unless something pops up on NoDQ or X that draws my attention, I'm really not going to pay attention to it. I do know Will Ospreay has the neck injury. Think about how crazy stuff he does. His neck's messed up. Sucks, but work smarter, not harder, and hopefully when he comes back, he can think about that a little bit more to extend his career. But anyway, what's MJF doing these days? He has contract, or didn't he? What happened with that?
He still has the contract. He basically goaded Heyman and Page into a free match, and he lost. Thanks to Mark Briscoe, Ref Bomb, all possible trades he could do. It just wasn't enough to beat Hangman this time out. Now they stand 1-2. Heyman 2, MJF 1.
When MJF wins the world title again, and I prefer the heel MJF because that's the best. And he's out there cutting scathing promos, and calling Tony Khan and Mark pops me, but it doesn't have to be at that extent. I'll probably start tuning in. I really will. I mean, chasing it because he's the heel is one thing, but once I know that's secure around him and he's going to be the focal point again for a while, they will get more of my attention. So I'm just putting that out there. You know, putting all that pressure on MJF to get back to the top. Because that when he was, I kind of watched Dynamite because I wanted to see his segments. And it made me see the other stuff because I would watch it for him. Since then, they haven't done much with him. You know, guys in movies with Adam Sandler. Push this guy back to the top. You know, here's the thing. Just because you have all these great wrestlers, Tony Khan, you don't have to make every one of them the main event and stand out and 6 months go by. It's okay to take a superstar and push them like WWE has done with Roman Reigns. And you can do that with MJF because somebody that you've lost like me will come back when you have the right guys at the top. Just saying, that's my little rant. And I owe that, right, to people because I used to watch AEW. I used to talk about it more. I can't say I've really paid for the pay-per-views, but I would watch, give them ratings. So that's all I really have to say, Colin. You know, it was an unexpected topic, but, you know, you called it. You knew where I stood.
Yeah. You know, but again, you know, sometimes you see something and, you know, you jump at it and, you know, but again, they had a lot of ups and they had a few downs, but it is, you know, figured I'd take a run at you and see what you saw. But I appreciate you, you know, chiming in and hopefully one day they can be that product that we want. Because again, I want to watch AEW and enjoy it and not sit there and like not nitpick, but nitpick because it's the same things. Like, you know, I might not always have it on my TV, but I'll throw it on my iPad and I can glance down and all right, does anything seem no? All right, you know, and then the next week they're doing something completely different. But I agree though, MJF when he gets that belt this time around, hopefully it's better than last time around because I mean the kid's got money written all over him, and he has for years. You know, he's controversial, but don't we love that shit? You know what I mean? So, but thank you, Aaron. I know this is a little bit of rehash. You did your review and this, that, and the other, but again, it was one of the biggest things that happened this weekend. So,
Well, I think the big news coming out of the show, Will Ospreay out of action. Virtue said it best. You know, he puts on some incredible matches, but there's absolutely a price to pay for that. Hopefully, when he comes back, he can adapt his style a little bit and have a longer career. And Swerve Strickland's out of action for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing might apply to him as well. And then we had Wardlow's return, and I did say my piece on Wardlow when I did the stream. I really want to see that guy succeed. I think he has the potential to be a big star, but they just throw him in another group. And my concern is he'll be forgotten about in a couple months, and it'll just be the same process repeating over and over again with him. All in all, Forbidden Door was a good show. I had my usual issues with it, but I did enjoy it, and I did feel I got my money's worth for it. Now, we do have some super chats. We can get into those now. Virtue will be happy because we do have Roman Reigns topics here. Shout out to Psycho Jet Black. Psycho Jet Black said, with Dwayne Johnson being busy and getting older and Roman Reigns getting into Hollywood, what is the next WWE dream match since Roman Reigns and The Rock seems to be off the table? Colin, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, that seemed to be the biggest possible match WWE could do. At this point, if Roman Reigns is not involved, what is the biggest match WWE could do, the all-time dream match, in your opinion?
I mean, right now it's so hard to say, and especially with, you know, Cena wrapping up his career here, you know, this year, because a few years down the line, yeah, it'd have been sweet to see like a Braun Breaker versus John Cena, but I don't want to see that now. You know, it's just I don't know because of the lack. I don't want to say lack of star power, but um, I mean, obviously we're going to see Roman and Seth one more time, but it's not a dream match. It's something we've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Obafemi is a promising superstar. Like I think maybe down the line, not down the line because how much time does Brock have left? But I think like Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi could be a really dope match. Um, But off the top of my head, I really truly don't know. But because again, you have so many old timers around that are leaving the business or are damn near out of it, and then you have the guys stuck in their prime, and then people coming up. It's like, the last true class of NXT Black and Gold, they were all older. You know what I mean? There's not these young kids like Javon Evans and Obafemi and Ricky Saints, and they're a little bit younger than the other kids that came up. You got to think when Gargano and Ciampa came up. They're in their mid 30s coming out of NXT. Uh, you know, Things like that. But I mean, I know people were talking about Rock and Gunther. That's a great match. We've all wanted to see that for years. That'd have been fun too. Um, Punk versus Cody. In what sense though? Like you got heel Cody face Punk, heel and Cody face, but there's different dynamics that that could run. But yeah, right now I'm not really 100% sure.
Well, I have a good idea of what I would pick. I want to see if Virtue agrees with me. I have one that I'm thinking of, and I know who one of his people will be, and I wonder if he'll have the second person that I'm thinking.
Look, there's probably a few other ones because I could think of a younger, like Roman Reigns on a send off, right? Rock, you can't put in this category anymore because he's so far into Hollywood and everything that happened this year. But Roman Reigns, even if he's on his way to Hollywood, I think he would still do business for a dream match for WrestleMania. Night 2, to me, there's one big match, one-on-one with the title on the line, and probably Roman putting this guy over so Roman can go to Hollywood. That's CM Punk for the WWE Championship. You can't have there's no bigger match in WWE than that. That's Punk.
What I was going with.
And that's the thing. Punk's probably going to be, what is Punk going to get his title back and carry it? Okay, well, he could go for the world title with Rollins, but to me, having Punk or Roman probably getting the title from Cody or whoever, the WWE Championship, because that is the best title, and having the big match at WrestleMania, night 2, because now Punk gets night 2, which completes probably the second half of his dream. Yeah, he main evented, but it's still not the same until you're in that last match on to close the whole weekend. To me, Roman and Punk, the dream match in WWE, but title needs to be on the line for this one, I think. Like, you could have no title on the line, but in this case, I think Punk would stick around a little bit longer. Just imagine him beating Reigns clean and holding title up, and then even I'm not a big fan of it, but like Reigns shows them the respect afterwards. They have a moment, dude. That would go down. That might break the internet with Aaron with NoDQ. Punk like that. That's just the perfect combination right there. Am I wrong, Aaron?
No, in fact, that was my pick: Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. I think that's the biggest match WWE can do at this point. Yes. For the world title, main event WrestleMania, that's what I would do. That to me is the biggest marquee match they can possibly do at this point. I look back at Survivor Series when they had the little face-off there, and that video did very well for my channel. I think CM Punk and Roman Reigns is big money. One-on-one match, and they don't even have to have one heel or one face, just the two of them, the two personalities going at it in the main event of WrestleMania. To me, that's box office. That would be huge. And I don't think they could do a bigger match than that right now. Noah, what do you think?
Well, if you're looking at nostalgia, veteran, and star power, you hit the nail on the head with the one match I was thinking of, considering right now between Punk and Roman, it's a matter of who sells most merch, who's more acknowledged, and who has the longer entrance at WrestleMania Night 2. And it has to have the title in play, in my opinion, because you can't have these two in the main event without a championship on the line. Other than that, they both might as well be mid. But if we're going to try and actually push forward the current generation, I probably would do something like Obafemi versus Braun Breaker or Carmelo Hayes, something like that. Because the thing is, WWE has so much star power, but again, they are vets. Veterans eventually do wear away, and you do need to build into the future. You do need to build those other stars up. And why those guys are trailblazers, torchbearers, pioneers. When do we get an original WrestleMania event, or does WWE have the capability to build a WWE main event WrestleMania level with somebody, two people from this current generation to carry on? And I don't know if they necessarily can do that, but Obafemi and Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu, those are definitely the top three up there. But as of right now, if you're looking at Dream, you're looking at that nostalgia, you're looking at that notoriety, you literally named the biggest two things in WWE history on the biggest stage possible in TKO branding and marketing. So that's pretty much all I got to say about
nothing
that.
against the Rising Stars. Those aren't dream matches. Maybe to
That's
some
fair.
people who like to see the stars break out, but Hogan, Rock, right? Rock was well established.
Yeah.
Hogan was way established. That's dream match caliber. Just again,
What about
against the young guys? They'll get a chance later in their career to be in dream matches.
Yeah.
And I would say Brock Lesnar versus Gunther would be on my list.
Yep.
I would put up there maybe night one, because it's still not as big as to me as Roman Reigns and CM Punk. And as far as the women, besides Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, I honestly don't know what to do with the women's division right now in WWE.
All right, Jeff, anything you would like to add to that?
I actually had the two in mind were Roman Reigns versus CM Punk and Obafemi against Brock Lesnar, because if Brock Lesnar versus Omos delivered with low expectations, imagine what Oba and Brock could do. Jesus, that would just be absurdly. And again, we could have high vision and completely bomb, but I would love to see it at least attempted. I think it would be a great battle of the big guys. And Roman and Punk, it's that one we haven't seen, the battle of the two, arguably the two biggest stars that were Paul Heyman guys, not named Brock Lesnar. So I'm here for it. We've seen
What would be another
Punk,
good, Jeff, the same weekend, and this is like so much would have to happen to make this a possibility. So Roman and Punk dream match, WWE title, Rhea Ripley, AJ Lee.
Oh,
right?
Same WrestleMania.
That'd be fun.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be something.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the current
But
roster.
AJ Lee
actually,
being
yeah.
fired for a decade, like that, it's just so much would have to happen. But never say never. You see a lot of these people coming back. Like
I think,
fella.
yeah, I think AJ's continued absence is less the neck injury and less the physical stuff as it is her own well-being, being actively back full time. If she were to come back for a one-off, that'd be one thing.
But if they pitched
You're
her
both
meeting, both of you are headlining WrestleMania and walking out as champions, night one, night two, main events. You tell me they would be like, "Hey, let's do it." They don't have to have.
I don't know if that's as important to her as it is to him.
That's the thing. Also,
I don't know that. I never,
I don't know.
I converse with them, but I think if it were pitched like that, Punk may, kind of try to nudge her along, but I don't think she gives near as much of a shit as she did 10 years ago.
I could see Rhea Ripley versus Saraya or Paige more likely than that versus AJ Lee, and I think that would be very interesting considering how much Paige left her own type of impact, also influenced by AJ Lee. And honestly, that could be, I think, more realistic than AJ Lee at this point. Just putting that thought out there. Because I know, Aaron, did you do some bogus bonus point that both AJ Lee and or Paige were going to return at Evolution, and you bombed on both?
Yeah, so we'll see if they ever.
Dream matches, though, you got to set the bar high.
True that.
Oh no, I agree, and I think Saraya, Paige, whatever they're going to call her when she comes back, I think she wants to return more because the way she didn't get to go out on her own terms with WWE in either situation, the injury or the money stuff or whatever it was. AJ, again, based on reading her book, based on stuff you see or read or whatever, it seems like she's okay with not returning. But again, you never say never. She was as an on-screen role, not wrestling, for a promotion out here. So again, who knows? Never say never in wrestling ever.
All right, thank you for that, Jeff. Great topic there. Thank you, Psycho Jeff Black. Remember, if you guys want to have us discuss a topic, just super chat it. We're doing the super chats tonight. We got one here from Building Nexus. Thank you, Building Nexus.
One
so
second.
This is about what?
I said 1 second. Fatu versus Lesnar would be a battle of the big man, or Fatu versus Obafemi down the line.
I
Okay.
They you got to season those younger guys more though. Make them a bigger attraction. Like if
Yeah,
Fatu
no.
wins the Rumble, holds a title or whatever, and then we get down to a dream match down the road, then absolutely.
Well, how does the dream start, Rich? It starts with a thought, and then you basically, cultivate it into what you hope will one day be reality. And I think Jacob Fatu has all the possibility in being a top star in WWE, not just because of O'Malley either.
Jacob needs to take that one moment to get him out of the I was Solo's enforcer spot to I'm ready to make the rest, like like a Rumble win or just some big holy shit moment, and he's right there.
Mm-hmm. I think Royal Rumble win's a good way to go, honestly.
All right, let's get to Building Nexus's topic here. So he says, could seeing Seth Rollins as the champion force Roman Reigns to finally acknowledge how he acted as champion? Virtue, I want to ask you about this. So Roman Reigns actually did go on Raw and say that he's changed, things are different, he's not the same person. Is that in his character to acknowledge that he acted like a jackass the same way?
There's a difference. Here's the difference here. He doesn't have to, because the whole run that he had, where he had henchmen and he often had 130, it was family. It was about, that's why they call it the bloodline. And so you could say you reached beyond what, because think about Roman Reigns before that, is the force-fed Vince McMahon post-Shield Roman. It was like they wanted him to be a superhero, like the Superman punch and all that, and the fan, besides me, a lot of the fans rejected it. So I think it's different. I don't think he has to, because he did it for the family. Now look at Jay flourishing. Maybe Fatu came in, even though it was after Roman's bloodline, but look at the growth. It's all about family right there, and that's why I really thought we should have got Rock and Roman to deliver that. But Reigns is still a tribal chief, and he can pass that. Like, he doesn't need to be Rock to make that official. Like, Rock's acknowledged him, everybody's acknowledged him. So down the road, when he passes that on to say Fatu, if they do something like that, so it's okay, Aaron. I think it's okay. Roman played dirty a lot because it was blood, it was family, it was like mafia, mob. It made sense. It wasn't just chicken shit heel because I want to, beat to the top. Rollins, that group, it's more old school with, like, you got your manager, you got your main guy of the Heenan family, and then you got the lackeys. Even though I want to say Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed can be better than lackeys, but, like, it's a different dynamic, in my opinion.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that. I feel like it is a bit different with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Each of them have their own justification for what they're doing and having these guys with them. But yeah, I think Roman Reigns, he did what it took to get to the top. And just like in the Mafia, they have their family. It just can't be one person. You overlook the whole family, and the family's doing your bidding for you. So I do think it made a lot of sense with Roman Reigns' character to do that. Colin, would you agree on that take?
Yeah, and if for some reason Roman ever acknowledges Seth Rollins for anything like that, I want to punch Michael P.S. Hayes right in the nuts. It just makes it just makes no sense whatsoever.
Yep.
What Roman did with his bloodline was epic. What is happening?
Go ahead.
Whatever happened with Roman and his bloodline was one of the greatest stories of my fandom. Okay, and Rollins and the Vision, we're working on it, right? It's still a work in progress. You got the dude grabbing shoes, and it's a work in progress. I hope for the best for both of these guys, but Roman's character and him coming back even now and saying, "Yeah, I should have done this or I should have done that." You know what? He's still not going to acknowledge Rollins at the end of the day. He's still the head of the table no matter what. Virtue said, we've all seen it. Rock acknowledged him as head of the table. The fandom is definitely have, and yeah, it's just there's no way that would work for me. Like acknowledging Seth Rollins, it's like pickles on a chicken sandwich. It doesn't work for me, you know.
My only critique
Yes.
Roman as a baby face, because like when he was like the heel in the bloodline, he could say less, right? But as a baby face, sometimes you have to talk more in promos.
Yeah.
And that's always been his weakness a little bit. But I think he can pull it off, right? If the crowd does their thing. But I don't want him to pander to the crowd. I hate that. Because I think that makes you lose your train of thought because you're trying to say the things to make the live crowd. And he did that a little bit on Raw yesterday. Don't pander to the crowd. They'll naturally cheer for you. You have aura around you. They'll give you the reactions, but go back to more calm, collected, less words. But you can do it and not deliver it as a heel, but as a babyface. I hope that he's smart enough. He's watching video. He's talking with Heyman and other people, and he picks up on that along the way. But I critique my guy. Right?
He is your guy.
Not perfect.
He's been your guy since 2012.
All right.
Go ahead, Jeff.
So first of all, Usman, you're looking in the green room. We're gonna be an hour too. For that comment, I'd bop you in the head. Yeah, pickles on chicken things. Anyway, what you said about Roman being acknowledged by the family really kind of got my brain percolating. We were talking about Jacob Foss earlier. I think personally they completely derailed any chance they had of Solo being anything more than the top of the mid card by not having him be more, maybe not dominant, but at least having more of a back and forth with Roman. I feel like they completely just blew it with him and by definition with his guys. Everybody working for him or with him is going to have that Solo thing going on now. Am I off base on that?
No, like that's the thing with Solo. Like they kind of did him dirty with booking for a while, especially when he was like Roman's lackey, and they're trying to resurrect it now with this U.S. title thing. So, but upper mid card is where I've never really seen him as like a main eventer, even though like Jay got there. So never say never. But I look at Solo a little more than like Jimmy Plus. Right, and nothing against these guys. You have roles. Not everybody can be a top guy.
Right.
Fatu has what Solo doesn't. We all know it. We all see it.
Oh yeah.
So that's the measuring stick. Solo, I think he might want to have the main event, but I think it's okay if he never fully gets there.
See, I think Jay has that Rikishi charisma to him, whereas Jimmy. And I love both Usos, okay? But Jimmy's biggest pop came recently when they found out he was going to be a pop again, okay? Like, he hasn't got a pop like that in over a year, which is ridiculous because Jimmy's good. He's really good. But, yeah, he's not going to have that long-reaching appeal. I think Solo could have. The problem is he was booked right into the pigeonhole role of, Roman's enforcer. And then when Roman took his number 45 hiatus, they just forced Solo into that leadership role, and people are like, no, we're good, thanks. I personally think this group of his would be great if they just didn't call it the Bloodline, even though they're calling the MFTs. For me, MFT shouldn't be, my chemistry, it should be motherfucking Tongas, personally, just to drive it home. Anyway, Colin.
Yeah, Solo. Mid card for life. Like they had the chance. And they blew it, and they blew it hard. And if they do the same thing with Jacob Fatu, then what the hell are we doing with all the Samoans in WWE? JC Mateo, what a name. That's going nowhere. Are you kidding me? Like JC Mateo.
I'm so
Like, are you
disappointed.
kidding me?
Yeah, no, they're not. That's the thing. They're not kidding. They're dead ass serious. And I agree with
Yeah.
what you said earlier. If they keep going to be Samoans, I'm going to hit Michael Hayes right in the dude. Like, I'm just going to knock him upside the head.
Good
And
luck.
then you got the MFT shirts, which was Tama Tonga's original
Yes.
nickname when he
Oh,
came in. But where the hell
yeah.
is he? I know he's injured, but he ain't on no shirt. Like
No,
he was the right hand man. Where's
they
he?
are.
Nowhere to be
Yeah, they
found.
are.
You know,
Oh,
like and then yeah, he's unfortunately there was some downfall with this whole bloodline thing. We saw the Gorillas of Destiny come in and kind of flop, which sucks because they were a great tag team in New
yes.
Japan in Ring of Honor
Yep.
and this, that, and the other. And now they're, I mean, or not Tamatonga, Tongaloa is just made fun of all the time. He's the derp of the group. Uh,
How
you
far
know,
has the former never openweight champion, 7-time IWGP heavyweight tag team champions fallen?
exactly, Noah. So, but
Dude,
yeah,
I mean,
how?
to be fair, Bloodline was Roman Reigns elevating the Usos,
Yep.
solo with Heyman.
Sammy. Don't
Sammy, the
forget the
whole thing.
honorary Oos.
Without Reigns,
You're right.
how you can't
Yeah,
it's just not the same. You take Reigns
I
out of
agree.
the equation, it's like the NWO after Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I agree. And yes, I do recognize the honorary Uso con because, again, we all admit it. I'm not sure if Virtue admitted it, but Sammy breathed new life into the bloodline where it thrived with stories invested by everybody for at least another year and a half. Because for outside Roman, before Sammy, bloodline was getting a little stale.
dude, the chemistry with Roman, Sami Zayn, and Jay was off the charts. I haven't seen chemistry like that in a long, long time.
Accurate. But yeah, Solo's mid Carter. I mean, again, he beat John Cena and nothing.
All right, good topic there. Let's move on. Shout out to Indie Fan 2019. Thank you for tuning in. We got your super chat. We will get to that in just a little bit, but I do want to get to a couple of the other ones here first. All right, this one's a hot topic, so I think we should definitely do this one before we switch up the panel. All right, Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. So I'm sure most of you know by now the story going on with the son of Rampage Jackson, MMA fighter, his son Raja, and that independent wrestler from Rikishi's promotion, and a lot of opinions on this one. A very disturbing video to watch. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. Anybody have an opinion on this one? RVD definitely had an opinion. Virtue, you want to start us off here? I mean,
So
yeah, it was rough to watch.
make it short and sweet. I blame the promotion and whoever was in charge of the show that day for not keeping things in order. You have somebody that's not a worker that doesn't get like the subtle little things with the beer can and all of that. They should not be put in that environment, especially if they're have a fighting mindset, because it's a two completely different worlds. The fact that this kid, Rampage Jackson's son, streams all of this, dude, he's in trouble. Like, if he ain't gonna have jail time, he's gonna be paying some money. It's definitely the promotion's fault. Whoever was in charge that night, they should have had the right people, making sure. And it's indie show, so I'm not talking like WWE and having agents, but like they should have knew. Like, and somebody should have knew, hey, this is a hothead. There should have been a couple people standing next by ringside, ready to jump in and pull them off. They should have known, and nobody did. Wrestling started in the Carney world. That was a Carney show, and that's why that happened.
Yeah, I mean, total amateur hour. I agree with you on that, Virtue. It just seemed like it was them attempting to do some sort of a work, but Raja not smart to the business. The one thing that Rob Van Dam said that I would agree with is that Raja should not have been involved at all. They never should have brought him in. He's not smart to the business. They bring him in there and they tried to do some kind of a work with him and he didn't care for it and he was pissed off. And then the promoters said he could get his receipt. He could get his payback And then he goes out there and nearly kills the guy, damn near kills him with like 20 something punches. That was really a terrible incident, and it never should have happened, but that's wrestling for you. Virtue, as you said.
And at the very least, if he doesn't get jail time, and I'm not, go sue him for this or that, as long as medical bills are paid and any pain and suffering is paid, definitely have to go get professional help with the mind. I'm talking about Rampage Jackson's son, because he seems like a hothead, and have a judge force him to have to go get clinical help.
Seriously.
Yeah, the Psycho Stu hit him outside the building with a beer can, did this worked punch, expecting Raja to sell it, and then Raja's just like, what the hell are you doing? I'm not all about that. And things escalated there, but that's no excuse for nearly beating a guy to death. I mean, it was totally uncalled for.
Bradshaw, go ahead, Colin. I'm sorry.
No, that video, I remember seeing it at work. One of my guys comes up and he's like, dude, did you see this? And he shows me. I'm just like blown away. Shout out to the wrestler who did pull him off of him, by the way, and just throw him to the ground. And we're like, no, we're not doing this. But this kid straight cooked himself bad. Like, I know Dad's a big name, but I don't give a shit. You obviously have some type of an issue that you can't tell when. We all know that professional wrestling is scripted. We all know.
Accurate.
And if you are that age and you don't know, then something is wrong with you. Especially when you are the son of Rampage frickin' Jackson and are also in the same role that your father was into. Now, this kid knew exactly what the hell he was doing. And then his live stream afterwards, and his buddy that was filming him talking on the phone, him covered in blood, like, no. And I feel bad for this veteran who got into professional wrestling to help deal with his PTSD. And then you get some punk ass kid come in and just slaughter him because he doesn't know the business. So yeah, bad on the promoter for putting that into play, I guess, too. But this kid, he should be old enough to figure out when, things are things. But, to me, I hope he gets jail time. I really do. So.
Wait, did the cat leave?
Yeah, she gets like 3-4 pets, and she's like, I'm.
This just goes to show you cannot seamlessly bring someone into this business and expect it to work as clear as night and day. I can only imagine how much that wrestler's going to be traumatized the rest of their life. They may never want to be in this business again. It sets a very poor example towards anybody that wants to try and maybe do this. Now people are going to think this is actually legitimately dangerous. They really should have took a mental check if they were unaware of this in the first place. It's not like, hey, are you ready to do this? I mean, hell, Rhea Ripley almost had a nervous breakdown before going out at WrestleMania 40 against a sick Becky Lynch. If it wasn't for freaking Jason Jordan, you wouldn't even have that match at WrestleMania 40. What the hell is this? Amateur hour? Not every celebrity, every freaking entertainer, every freaking second generation possible big star in media can pull a work in a damn freaking ring. The hell were you thinking?
Yeah, really. And Jeff, this is not good for Rikishi's promotion. I mean, wouldn't shock me if this is the end for them. What are your thoughts on this?
So I'm going to be short and on the same thing, just because I've had more calls and text messages than I care to, if I'm being 100% honest. The bottom line is this. The person that egged on the issue in the video, I don't remember his name off the top of my head. He is at fault just as much as Raja is. And also, you mentioned, he should have known. He did know. That's the thing. The person in charge of the show knew exactly what the person that was not booking, but was coordinating the show knew exactly what was going on. And if Raja faces jail time, so should that guy. He did know, knew that for a fact. He should be in prison, 100%. Raja definitely could use some do right with a little counseling, no doubt about it. As far as Knox Pro, again, I've had a lot of really solid people graduate from that academy, and gone. They've got friends of mine that have gone to do great things in the industry. I know Rikishi was not there, and I'm 99% sure. I forget his real name, Black Pearl, was not aware of what was happening. Should have been made aware, obviously. But yeah, Tito's right. The bottom line is you can't have untrained people in the ring. My stupid ass was at an indie show when I was, working with a promotion out here. I ended up in the ring and took an elbow to the small of my back and ended up with bruised ribs because I'm untrained, I'm a blithering idiot and didn't know better. But I'm a grown ass man, so I should know better, right? It's just simple common sense not being applied to it. I'm not surprised that WWE did indeed pull their ID label off of them. And there was a question there about how much heat the Fatsus are going to get. I don't know because I don't know how much knowledge Rikishi had going in, and haven't heard from him yet. So I'm curious what he's going to have to say when he does so. He has his own podcast. I'm sure his lawyers are going for now, but yeah, it's Virtue made a great point before we went on the air and when he said his piece. No matter how far into the mainstream wrestling gets on ESPN coming up pretty soon, there will always be a carny, back-ended industry as long as shit like this is allowed to continue. And it's deplorable. It's awful.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jeff. And we'll get some more opinions. I think Gino has a take on it. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to go around and do the plugs for everybody. And then we're going to swap our panels for the second hour. I have a couple of super chats here. Indie Fan, I will get to yours here shortly. Tito had one. Keep sending in super chats for our second panel. We got another hour to go here. So let's go ahead and do the plugs. Jeff, I will start with you. You always got an elaborate plug for us. So go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to make sure everybody remembers that my interview with my good buddy Ariel Belvalera is now on demand over on my channel, youtube.com/Jeff Meacham. I will also be joining the 5th anniversary special for the Greg Cherry Show tomorrow in this time slot, 7 Eastern Pacific. Very happy for Greg and everybody involved with the Greg Cherry brand. Looking forward to that. And of course, you can catch me on the socials, _Jeff Meacham on Instagram and Twitch, at Jeff Meacham on Facebook, and the channel fully relaunches coming up January 4th.
All right. Thank you for that. Jeff's even got the timing down with his graphics there. Nice work, Jeff. All right. Noah Foster.
I learned from the best, Aaron.
What you got for us, Noah?
The usual, Aaron and crew. Again, happy 350 to all of you. Always a pleasure. I have predictions coming up. Live watch-alongs even more coming up. And with Gino, post-mortem predictions discussions. Find all that and more. And then Foster 1916 on the X and on YouTube for all things wrestling that I do. Shout out to the W fam. And as always, only wish to encourage all of you to just join live for the enjoy professional wrestling. It's truly as simple as that. And I will see you all next week on the NoDQ review.
All right. Much love to you, Noah. Thanks as always for being on. Virtue, we'll go to you next, and then we'll let the moderator for hour one give us his final thoughts. Go ahead, Virtue.
X.com at NoDQ_Virtue. There it is. That's the main event for WrestleMania in the future. And then go to NoDQ.com/merch and get the Virtue shirts, NoDQ shirts, Noah, Jeff shirts, Colin shirts. They're all on there, I think.
All right. Thank you for that, Virtue. And Cleaver, we'll wrap it up with you for hour one. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I appreciate, everyone tuning in for the first hour of episode 350. Hopefully, again, no Loch Ness Monster shows up and tries to steal our money. It was a good time. And thanks to everyone that's been on the panels throughout the years. Tito, Robbie Vice, again, Dr. Jargo, Vito, all the other people that have shown up. Matthew, Gino, who's done a great job hosting this show throughout, the last few months with the rotation, which I'm really enjoying. But yeah, follow me on Twitter and on YouTube at the Cleaver NoDQ. I'll be back in a couple of weeks to moderate. Don't know if I'll be back next week on the show or not. I have to check my daughter's soccer schedule because soccer is back in session. So until next time, yeah, again, thanks, and we'll see you next week for sure. And this is just a countdown to 400, baby. So
Aaron, real
Yeah.
quick, low key brag. That license plate looks so much better on a bigger screen. I'm so happy with that turned out, Colin. I'm glad I put the work in, and it turned out really well on a bigger screen.
yeah, thanks again for that. It doesn't look like that anymore. It's all faded. The sun beat the crap out of it, so I didn't even
Right.
know what ordered.
Well,
Yeah.
I did what I
Yeah.
could for you, brother.
No,
That's
I
good, man.
appreciate it. So, again, guys, thanks for super chatting in tonight and always supporting No DQ. Again, 350 episodes is a big deal. So, thank you to everyone. I've only been on the panel for the last like 4 or 5 years now, but it's been a great time. So, thank you very much and continue to watch for hour 2. We're going to rotate the panels here. Big Papa Gino is going to come in and take over as moderator, and we'll have a all new panel for you. So until next time, I'm the Cleaver Colin Andrew. Thank you very much.
See ya.
All right, guys. Stay tuned for hour 2. Here we go.
Welcome into the second hour, the main event hour, if you will, of episode 350 of the No DQ review. I am yours truly, Mean Gino, here joined with a new group of panelists, still esteemed, still elite. We have Oofman dressed to the absolute nines. How you doing, Oofman?
Doing good, Pierre. Gentlemen, good to see you. Aaron, great job on hour 1. To the guys from hour 1, as one of the new guys to the panel, thank you so much for having me on the futures. And like Cleaver said, off to 400, but we got to get Tree Fitty out of the way. So let's do this, boys.
Absolutely. Cost about Tree Fitty. And we've got Matthew here. Matthew, how you doing?
I'm good. Always a pleasure to be on the review or the panels or the predictions, whatever. You know, we may be the B team, but we are a great group of guys. You know, much respect to my fellow Florida brother and Gino Hoofman as well. The one true Big G who disappeared on us, of course, the man himself, Aaron.
Yes, thank you so much, Matthew. So if you guys missed it, it was a split second, blink and you miss it. Grayson Waller came in and unplugged Big G's internet because that feud is for real. And he's back. Oh, and he's back. We have the one true Big G. How you doing, Big G?
I don't know.
All right. Well, Big G will be with us in a moment. Let us know if you can hear us. You know, it's not going to be without any technical difficulties as we try to rotate these guys in for you. We've got a few more people. I think JJ said he wanted to be on, and Marshall. So keep your eyes out, Aaron, and everybody in the chat for if they're trying to get in. We'll make sure that there's a spot for them. I feel bad. I had Noah leave when he was going to stay on, but we do have the room for the other people here. And much love to my postmortem brother, the predictions man, the simple man, Noah Foster, and everybody. You guys did a great job in the first hour. That flew by the way. As a viewer of that first hour, that flew by. Super entertaining stuff. Now, I know we've got also Aaron Riff still here. How you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing well. I mean, what did you think of Colin's entrance music?
Well, I thought it was funny that he couldn't hear it because I needed to take my headphone out and just listen to it through my phone because it was like, I'm not against like screamo metal, but that was very on brand, and it mentioned being a Cleaver, and I thought it was well done. A little nervous to see what you picked for me. So if I may, please play my music Yee. Wow. Hot in here. That's a good song. All right, very well done.
Wow. Very 80s.
All rights and
rock
copyrights
bandish.
go to the man, Aaron Rift. I don't know where, how, who, whatever, but a magician never reveals his secrets. But I will be coming after you to try and get that audio clip because that's bloody brilliant. Anyway, I did want to start off this second hour with one of my Mean Gino rants. I know we've got some new super chats, but it's about one of the previous super chats. It's a hot button issue, and that is the Raja Jackson, Raja Rampage, whatever you want to call him, situation. You guys mentioned RVD. I read the whole article that Aaron had put up on NoDQ. I wrote this before the show started, so forgive me if I seem to be talking about something that were already mentioned, but here we go. On face value, it's one of the most disgusting things to happen at any wrestling show in the history of the world. You might want to jump in the comment section and tell me I'm wrong and saying, but New Jack beat up a 17-year-old kid. But I would say that kid lied about being 18 and willingly entered into an agreement with somebody that he obviously knows will try and get color the hard way. So that could be the only real thing. It's like agreeing to sign up for a match with Moxley and not agreeing to get color the hard way. So it's just interesting that they would do that. However, this, and as I read more into it, it seems like there is negligence on both sides. It's not on the face value that we originally take things. You got to read below the headlines. RVD had mentioned that, you know, he was on Raja's side, but then kind of backtracked a little bit, mentioned his CTE and potential aptitude for getting concussed. And I'm not here to argue anybody's medical health, but if you're the son of a UFC fighter who is always engaged in sanctioned fights with a trained referee who is big enough and strong enough to separate people when somebody is knocked out, if you've been fighting long enough and you're a legacy fighter, you know when somebody's knocked out. I don't care if he was tunnel vision, he thought he was back in the octagon, whatever. He was knocked out from the moment he hit the ground. And he delivered punch after punch. And I'm like, surely it's going to stop. And it doesn't. It kept going and going and going and going. And I don't care if you've got CTE and all the things that we know can come along with that, then you still are responsible for your actions at the end of the day. I understand that they told him he could go get his receipt, which, heard you mention, it's a Carney term. So if you're not talking about a getting okay on all sides for the pre-match thing, and then what happened during the match, like what you're going to do, what is allowed, it is laughable to think that anybody that is an adult, human being, could think that that's an okay thing to do in wrestling. Either you know it's staged or you're a child and you haven't learned that yet. It's totally fine, totally acceptable. But to blame concussions, to blame CTE, whatever, absolutely belligerent. Again, it's one thing if it was a sanctioned fight. He got in there. Apparently, the wrestler didn't even know what was happening. And then he still took the move, trying to be as pro about it as possible. We mentioned, thank freaking goodness, there was somebody strong enough to get him off, because he might still be punching the guy. Like, you don't even see that in action movies and revenge movies. Like, John Wick doesn't do people that dirty. It is one of the most despicable things I have ever seen with my eyes. And RVD, I love you, bro. I do. But at the end of the day, there's no way getting hit with a can justified any of that more than the slam. If you're out here acting like the company isn't at fault, which I thought maybe, you know, they shouldn't have had their WWE ID pulled, whatever. But now you're finding out that they didn't meet and talk and plan this out. They just told him he could go in the ring and do it. I'm going to say this, and take this as you will. I'm not making a statement any other than this. We have Floyd Mayweather breaking Big Show's nose. Unallowed, wasn't sanctioned, wasn't supposed to do that, not going to throw real punches, broke his freaking nose. Big Show, the professional, didn't stomp Floyd Mayweather into the ground. Then you had Travis Scott rupturing our champion at the times, I believe he was the champion still at the time, his eardrum, because he doesn't know, even though he's a fan, mind you, of the business, rupturing an eardrum because you're slapping somebody as hard as you can and you don't know how to do it properly. And then we have Rampage Jackson's son who comes in, doesn't know anything about wrestling. That's like pointing out into a WWE crowd and telling 3 of the guys in the front row to just jump the barricade and help you. Like, it's preposterous, it's belligerent, and those 3 people all had one thing in common: they don't know how to be safe workers. Period. End of discussion. We had Cain Velasquez come in to the WWE as a former UFC fighter, and he was able to work safe. So the excuse that I'm a UFC fighter, I'm a pro, whatever, is not good enough for me. And full legal sanctions should be processed. However it's going to play out. I'm sure he's going to have one of the best lawyers, but that was so freaking despicable. It makes me sick. It's on par with reaching out to Naomi and telling her she shouldn't have gotten pregnant and bullying her for that. Just absolutely despicable behavior from people inside and outside the business. All right. Would anybody else like to touch on that before we move on to the super chats?
I mean, I pretty much agree with what you said. I mean, and what was kind of said earlier, it's both on the promotion's fault and Raj's fault. And I know we said we don't know what Rikishi's doing in all this. And I guess I heard through the grapevine, through different sources, that everybody involved, everybody at this promotion has pretty much been told, don't say anything to anybody. So I guess the cops are going to have to question everybody, which this is a bad look for Knox. And it was smart of the WWE to take them off the WWE ID, because right now the WWE doesn't need, and TKO don't need this kind of bad press. I mean, they've got enough problems with every time something of Vince pops up. They don't need more of this. And I feel bad for anybody who was part of Knox or was interested in them, because they have had some good people. Rusev, Miro, he learned how to train the American style from Knox. So I'm wondering what he's thinking right now. But it's also a good thing to see that a lot of the wrestling community is reaching out. I saw Swerve Strickland, Jericho, all of them have given to the GoFundMe to help. I can't even think of the guy's name right now. The guy that got attacked. But so, I mean, right now everybody is trying to do the right thing. And it does bother me, like you said, that there are people actually out there going, oh, well, this guy deserved it. Raj is completely in the right. And I'm like, how? Not beating someone with 20 some unprotected punches to the face to the where the guy was, choking on his own blood and teeth. And I just hope he will be okay. Somebody else said it in the previous panel, he may never wrestle again. And I mean, hopefully thank you, Stuart Smith. Hopefully, if he has to, he sues for damages. If he's got brain damage, he needs to sue the pants off the Jackson family. But I think right now, Raj needs to be in at least some sort of confinement, some sort of, if not he's in jail, he needs to be away from other people. And at least that's my thoughts on it overall.
And I'll just say the NoDQ channel is very open-minded to all different points of view. So if you feel that Raja was anywhere in the right, at me personally, because I will be happy to educate you on why you're wrong. And with that down, I believe we have super chats.
Yes. I don't know if Oof had anything to add to that, but yes, we do have some super chats. I think he's good. I think, we've all said our piece on it. We got JJ that's going to be on here in just a second to fill in for Big G. Big G have an internet connection. So Big G, he arrived. He was happy to be here for about 5 seconds, and then he was gone. But we love you, Big G. And I want to throw out Big G's plugs. He is the real Big G, and we hope to have him back on at some point here. Here's his plugs. Make sure you guys follow Big G. He's the original Big G, not that Aussie wannabe. Follow him at those channels. We love you, Big G. We hope to have you on soon. We do have some super chats here. Psycho Jet Black sent in $5 and said, Aaron, I recall emailing you a link to an AI-generated song that I made for you. I don't know if you still have it. If not, I can email another link. Send it to me, Psycho Jet Black. If you can send it to me within the next half hour or so, I'll play it before the end of the stream. Thank you, Psycho Jet Black. And Dr. Scorpio19 sent in $2. Thank you for that. Says, B team, go, 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 all jokes. Well, we're technically, this is the WrestleMania night 2. So really, you guys are the main eventers here. They were the warm-up act, and you guys are closing us out. Just saying. Where's Virtue? Virtue said he was going to be in the chat room. I haven't seen him in there yet.
He's probably trying to learn all of Piranha Plant's moves, and I don't blame him. You need to be prepared for next Sunday on the NoDQ channel and Aaron Riff's personal channel when Piranha Plant opens a can of wolf ass on the rest of the panel.
Oh, Psycho Jet Black emailed me a link, so I'll download that and get that up before the end of this, so stay tuned.
And speaking of that, I do love how every milestone video that we have, we make some improvement to our product. We add in the theme music. We're trying new things. We're not just set in our old ways that may or may not be working. We are pushing you into the future. We are the future of wrestling, not Braun. I mean, Braun Breaker is too, but NoDQ is the future. If you're finding us here on your For You page or recommended videos, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that like button. The best thing you can do is share this with somebody that you know that would like wrestling and like to talk wrestling, because we love to talk wrestling. JJ is here. The Renegade. Looks like he's maybe in the same area that Jeff Meacham was. I'm not sure.
Hopefully better area than Big G.
Yeah. JJ, how you doing, man?
Enjoy your movie.
What's going on, gentlemen?
We're doing good. Happy to have you on. Are you happy to be here?
I'm always happy to be here, sir. I'm not the OBG, but I do acknowledge him.
There you go.
No.
Shout out to Big G. All right. Let's get to these super chats here. All right. We got a couple interesting ones here, so let's get to these. So Indie Fan sent in a $2 super chat. Shout out to Indie Fan who got on just from the recommendation. So we appreciate your viewership and support for the channel. Do you guys enjoy AEW, and who's your favorite AEW wrestler right now? I'll start. I do enjoy AEW. I'm glad it exists. It's important to have an alternative in wrestling and have options for fans. And there are things I do like about AEW. My favorite wrestler, I mean, to me, it's MJF, and it's not even close. MJF is the guy, as far as I'm concerned, most entertaining performer in the history of the company. And when he's out there, I'm interested. I feel like there are times where they haven't utilized him as much as they should be. This guy should always be in the title picture. I'm glad he's back in it now. It's long overdue. MJF is the guy, and I think he's going to be the guy for many years to come. Oofman, I know you're a pretty big fan of AEW, so what's your overall enjoyment of it at this point, and who's your all-time favorite right now as far as AEW stars go?
Well, yeah, I've been said it before. I've been an AEW fan since day one. I was here on my couch, all excited about this new company. Like you said, it was years, 18 years of just being WWE. A new kid was in town, and I enjoyed that first episode. And to this day, here we are, almost 6 years later. In October will be 6 years of AEW. Still watch it every week. Love it. All-time favorite is the man that got me into AEW, which is the living legend himself, Chris Jericho. I know there's talks about him going back to WWE, but Jericho, I remember hearing on NoDQ.com that Jericho was going to do a surprise, or he was up to something. And then I tuned in, I think it was YouTube, to watch that first press conference announcing AEW, and look who showed up, but Chris Jericho. So I was into him. I was into Jericho, but I've been a proud Jerichoholic since the WCW days. And when I heard he was in a new company, I'm like, all right, this could be cool. And yeah, I've been a fan of AEW since day one. Current favorite wrestlers, I'm going to go with Swerve Strickland. I am a big Swerve guy. I swerve when I drive. Prince Nana is hilarious. Hangman Adam Page is another favorite. Of course, Will Ospreay. He's insane, but I like him as well. Even though I am still a WWE fan, I said it a couple weeks ago or in the predictions that for right now, the women's division in AEW has really got my attention. I am a huge mark for Timeless Toni Storm. I'm a huge fan of Sky Blue, Thunder Rosa, and all the women of AEW. That their division is really great. Willow, you got to love Willow. She's like a little puppy. You just got to hug her. So yeah, I do enjoy AEW. I went to my first AEW pay-per-view last year, Full Gear here in Jersey, and I will return in 2 months again at Prudential Center, where Full Gear goes back-to-back here in Jersey. So, yes, there are some good days on AEW. Yes, there are some bad days as well, but it makes, just like you said, Aaron, I am glad it does exist. I'm glad that anytime a WWE guy or girl made the jump, I got excited. Unfortunately, COVID put the kibosh on the first Dynamite. We were supposed to get Blood and Guts here in Jersey back in March of 2020. But 2 weeks before that is when the world went to hell. And the week before, Matt Hardy joined, Brody Lee joined. And so it's cool to see these guys and girls do their craft on another company with a major production with TBS TNT. So yeah, still a fan of AEW. I as much as I love it, I could be one of the biggest critics of it because I love it so much. But like you said, Aaron, I'm glad it exists. So it's good to see that it's still around. The pay-per-views, they always kill it. Yeah, they're a little long, but I feel we get our money's worth. And like I said, I'm really excited. Me and my friends we're hyping ourselves up for November to go back to Full Gear. So yeah, AEW fan right here.
All right, and Matthew, from what I've been told, your favorite act is the Young Bucks, right?
That is very much incorrect. And yes, I am very critical about AEW, and I've been called a hater many times, but I understand what AEW means for the wrestling business. It means more work for everybody. And I think Tony Khan needs to fight. You know, he wanted this war, and he's getting it now. And if he fights, it brings more business to both sides, because what made WWE better was when they had to fight against AEW those first couple of years. And that needs to happen again, because that will light a fire under Tony Khan. That will light a fire under Triple H, and it will make them take chances, take risks. And that's good for business. As for my favorite characters in AEW, MJF is always a good one, even though he is a little floundering lately. I really wanted more from the Hurt Syndicate stuff. And no matter where he is, Adam Copeland, Edge, I'm not going to call him Cope. I hate that name. He's always been one of my favorites. So I'm always going to root for him no matter what company he's in, because he's just, I love the Metal Ingus theme. It's one of my all-time favorite wrestling themes. And he's just a guy that has come back from so much, and you got to respect that.
All right. Well said there. I think you would make some valid points with your criticisms of AEW. Oh, JJ's got dinner over there. Look at that. Oh, no. There he goes.
Oh,
This video not sponsored by Charlie's Cheesesteaks.
or is it?
Or is it? They should be. And I would like to go next, if you don't mind, Aaron.
Look at this. So you said you would rant if somebody requested it via super chat. So there you go. Oof just threw it in himself. Whoa, we got a race going on around here. What is going on here? We're off to the races. All right, Gino, go ahead with your take on AEW. And then if you want to rant, the floor is yours. You're the moderator. Go ahead.
Well, I definitely had a semi-rant on AEW last week. When this video's over, don't forget to go check out last week's video. And there's 349 other videos up there besides today. So plenty of content for you, plus all of the Aaron Rift post-show reviews. All great stuff, wonderful content, and him getting his butt kicked by Piranha Plant. But that's neither here nor there, still great content. So as far as AEW is concerned, as far as the characters, I mean, I'm not the only real character I'm a fan of is timeless Tony Storm. The rest of the characters aren't really, it's just not drawing me in like they should be. As far as professional wrestlers, MJF for sure. You've got a guy who's playing Adam Sandler's oldest son in the most, or it was before K-Pop Demon Hunter, but the most watched live action movie on Netflix in quite some time. And you had Becky Lynch going out there and talking all this. I'm a movie star, blah, blah, blah. She was in the movie for like 70 seconds. MJF actually had scenes and dialogue and stuff that you could understand, mind you. And they're not seeming to capitalize on that. It's very strange. You can't just keep putting him in the main event picture and have him lose, because it might feel like you're not like burying him because he's getting main event shots and he's not actually in the main event. He's just in the world title picture. But you're showing the world that this guy is a freaking loser, and that's not okay. At least WWE is smart enough to have Roman Reigns separate from the title picture so he's not having to be forced to take L's. Shout out City by the Bay. And as far as that, I think Wardlow has a ton of potential, and they just seem to want to squander it. I don't understand. I'm glad, like you said, Aaron, that there's this alternative product. People are getting paid money to do what they want and to feed their family in a safe, professional environment where randos who don't understand the business aren't going to take a receipt and take it all the way to the freaking wherever he did. So I think Wardlow still got potential. I'm kind of interested in Powerhouse Hobbs. Obviously, I like big monster wrestlers, very much a Vince McMahon type of architect. I do like Daniel Bryan. I do like Cope. I think Christian Cage is doing some of the best work of his career. So, but a lot of these guys are former WWE guys. The only two are MJF and Wardlow, and I would say that, I mean, I don't know that WWE would be booking them any better right now, but I'm glad that there's somewhere to exist for them to feed their families. And I do hope that AEW takes advantage of this sour note on WWE and TKO as of late and can maybe start offering their premium live events for maybe for just the price of HBO Max, or, you know, a discounted rate. Do something to try and capitalize on what is very clearly a vacuum in the wrestling world. And if they don't capitalize on this, I think it's only a matter of time before Papa Khan decides that the checks just aren't worth it. So that's my thoughts on AEW. JJ, do you have anything you would like to add to that? The super chats are getting their money's worth tonight, y'all. So send them in.
I kind of agree with what the majority of everyone has been saying here on the panel. I like the fact that AEW exists. I like the fact that there's an alternative and somewhere else for professional wrestlers to go, buy their trade, make money. My criticisms are kind of the same as everyone else's. You know, pay-per-views are too long. Start-stop pushes for a lot of the talent that people want to get invested in. I don't hate AEW, but I definitely like it the least out of the three major companies right now.
You enjoy TNA more?
Yeah, I would say I enjoy TNA more than AEW. Maybe a lot of that has to do with the NXT partnership and the fact that we've seen Joe Hendry in the Royal Rumble and at WrestleMania. But yeah, I would say I enjoy TNA more than I do AEW.
All right, fair enough. Now, Gino, we got a super chat here from Psycho Jet Black. Just said, Big G thoughts on Grayson Waller stealing the gimmick. Big G's not happy about it. He made a whole graphic. None of us are happy about it. We need to contact the Jim Cornette lawyer, Stephen P. New. We got to get him on the case here for gimmick infringement. Big G gives his regards. And Gino, we lost Big G, but we had an addition in JJ, and there's somebody else who would like to introduce a special guest tonight to bump up our ratings. Go ahead.
I believe it's Marshall joining us. Marshall, how
Hello.
we doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. It's good to have you on. Welcome to the No DQ review.
Thank
Number
you.
350.
350, thank you.
Absolutely. And I want to say, Oofman, we did not forget, or I certainly didn't forget about the 2 rants I owe you. I have those queued up, and we will slide them in where we can, for sure. And Marshall, do you have anything to add to this AEW WWE talk?
The I think AEW is not doing very well right now. I think they need to reinvent themselves like TNA did. Because AEW needs to reinvent themselves. They're not doing as well as they were 5-10 years ago.
Certainly better than they were 10 years ago. Absolutely. And now, thank you so much for sharing that, Marshall. Do we have any more super chats? I'm sure we do, because it's looking good.
We'll hold off on the rants here for just a little bit. Tito sent in a $2 super chat. So Tito brought up The Rock and Roman Reigns again. Says that he thinks it will happen at WrestleMania due to the high Vegas prices. With those ticket prices, they might have some trouble selling those tickets. And if ticket sales are slow, like they were for Elimination Chamber, could that be the signal? Just like the bat signal, we get the Rock signal, the Dwayne Johnson signal, and the Rock comes in, and we finally get the Rock versus Roman Reigns. Look, I'm going to say what Virtue said. I'll believe it when I see it. Do I want it? Yes. But realistically, I don't know if it's going to happen, and I'm tired of the teases. If The Rock's going to do the match, come back, do the match. If you're not doing the match, stay the hell away. Don't show your face on TV. We don't need The Rock. Don't come around and give people a false hope that there's going to be a match. That's where I stand on that. Anybody else want to add to that thought?
Yeah, brother.
Go ahead.
All right. So first things first, as soon as I saw that WWE moved WrestleMania from the announced with a graphic and a logo made for New Orleans back to the same city it was just in, and granted, Las Vegas is obviously the entertainment capital of the world, so I have no issues with them wanting to put events there. But they told people in Louisiana, granted, they don't have the best crowd, at least some of the cities, which I will get to in one of my rants. They told them that they were going to have it there. That was one of The Rock's last appearances. If I recall correctly, it might have even been his last appearance. So people are saying, oh, that they spat, Triple H spat in the face of The Rock by changing the venue and blah, blah, blah. Like, guys, more goes into it than that. So let's stop being a Triple H hater for unvalid reasons. There might be tension. Who knows? Who cares? They will always do what's best for business. Just look at Seth Rollins and CM Punk. If they can work together, anybody can work together. Look at Matt Hardy and Edge back in the day. If they can work together, anybody can work together. They are professionals for a reason. Shout out to that old promotion that's getting canceled from WWE ID because they weren't doing things professionally. Anyway, as soon as I heard that, I thought, this feels like they are trying to make up for what they gave Vegas the previous year. We had The Rock firmly plant his flag in the main event of WrestleMania's story and then disappeared. And Travis Scott, another guy I mentioned in my original rant, don't forget to go back and check that out, took that entertaining match to a snail's pace as he's walking out and doing his whole thing. I think that they promised Vegas Rock last year, and they are taking a lot of heat. They're like, well, we're not going to bring you back to these big venues anymore. I think there was Vegas heat from Vegas to redo it and make up for it. Right now, we've seen things happen like this in the past, like Tampa was going to get WrestleMania and the pandemic hit, then they had to do it the next year. So WWE has a precedent of making up for stuff that they didn't maybe give it their all with. Part of my rant coming up is going to be TKO likes to stretch things out and stretch things thin, not long-term storytelling, but taking a drop and trying to go a mile with it. So I truly believe, now I believe that this is done to build towards Roman and Rock. I truly believe that. But seeing is believing. And right now, The Rock is lining himself up for an Oscar nomination. He is number 2 on Variety's picks to be nominated for Best Actor at the Academy Awards with Smashing Machine about to come out. Granted, we haven't seen it, but they predict that he's going to get an Oscar nomination. Only 5 people get it. And if he gets that nomination, bro, I can't even see him ever wanting to come back to wrestling. The thing is, he's on the board. So he has an obligation to the board and to the bottom dollar, and I believe to Vegas at this point, right? Because the year prior, they did the meet and greet or the clash with everybody on stage in Vegas before they went to WrestleMania. And then they've been teasing Vegas Rock versus Roman for a while. They owe it to Vegas. They owe it to us. We talked about it in the first hour. Dream matches. This is the true dream match. You can't have a dream match with people who have wrestled before, at least recently. You can't do that if they don't have their own drawing power individually. Rock versus Roman is still the biggest match that can be put on in professional wrestling. So I do believe that their intentions are to get The Rock and Roman this year at WrestleMania. However, that has to happen. But if he gets his Oscar nomination, God forbid he wins it, he's going to have offers out the door. He's already working with Martin Scorsese on a new Hawaiian mobster movie. And I can see Roman Reigns getting involved with that. I can see him getting involved in that Jason Momoa show on Apple Plus. That's also about Hawaiian in the past. So we've got a lot of things set up for these guys. I truly believe that it is an absolute travesty of a waste of an opportunity. For the last 20 years of the internet, obviously I know it's existed longer than that, but we've got fantasy booking, matches that never happened, matches that should have happened. It would be a shame for life of all wrestling fans if we do not get this match and if it's not at WrestleMania. And Vegas has to be the place to do it. If they're selling ticket, if they think they got to bring The Rock in to sell these expensive tickets, that's one thing. But I believe they're doing it knowing that they're going to give the fans in attendance something special. And Uthman was on my channel a few episodes ago, and one of my friends actually went there. Cost him $10,000 all said and done to go to Vegas, go to the event, both nights, come home, hotel, all that stuff, and he's still paying it off. You got to give people more for their money. Does anybody else have anything to say about that?
Was that one of your rants?
It actually wasn't. That was off the top. So
you still got 2 more?
I do still have 2 more.
Damn. Marshall, what do you want to add to that?
Do you think that John Cena and Rock can have one more match at WrestleMania and that be Cena's retirement match? Because I don't think Cena doing it at Saturday Night's Main Event is the way to go out.
Yeah, but he's done after this year. He's got movies, he's got TV shows, he's got stuff to do. So I don't think he's going to WrestleMania.
I saw somebody put this out there. What if John Cena shows up and does his last match in Boston, and then at the end of the show, he says, "Thank you, goodbye," and then all of a sudden The Rock's music hits, and The Rock comes out there, confronts John Cena, and says, "You're done when I say you're done." You never know. Never say never.
As a Boston boy, as a Cena guy, Cena was my camp counselor. That's what wrestling is supposed to be about. Moments like that. Surprise entrances. Oh my goodness. That would be awesome. But then that means we don't have Roman versus Rock again. So if you're not going to give me Roman versus Rock and you are going to give me Rock versus Cena, like that's the only reason that I would be okay with not getting Roman Rock. But I still think Roman Rock is better because, again, it hasn't happened yet. And thrice in a lifetime, well, it's kind of got a good ring to it. I don't know. All right. Anybody else?
Yeah, we got cameras falling. We got some hot takes. It is the No DQ review, episode number 350.
We'll try.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's all good.
It's okay, JJ.
I'll just say, first of all, my hat to you, Gino, if that came off the cuff, if you didn't have that scripted. Good job, brother.
Thank you.
Personally, after this year, I'm done with The Rock. It's really like this year, I bought into the hype when they turned Cena heel. I was like, all right, Rock and Cena together. this heel, the two biggest names in wrestling dominating the game and the sport, whatever. And you could have had not necessarily like a Hogan NWO type storyline, but just imagine what could have happened. Rock and Cena, they're great on the mic, both of them. Imagine them tearing apart the roster with their mic skills, let alone wrestling, just in their mic skills and steamrolling through this roster. But it hit the poo platter, and we got the Cena turn, the heel turn that we were expecting in 2012, and it fizzled. I'm thankful that somebody in creative went, okay, let's put the kibosh to this, and then he turned Cena face again. So personally, again, I wouldn't want to see The Rock, because again, I don't want it to happen just like this year where, okay, they're going to hook me, and then what if they, again, just decide to just hit the panic button or just go, you know what, let's not do it. Gino, you hit on the points. Yeah, what if, again, Oscar nominations come out at the end of the year. His movie hasn't even come out yet. I believe they're given out in March. If Rock does win, let alone get nominated, what if he does win? Hollywood's going to be calling. Last time, I think it was for here, WrestleMania in Jersey at 29, Rock got injured and some of his projects had to be delayed. Word around the campfire was that Hollywood wasn't happy about that when he had to put all his projects on hold because he busted up. He had a bunch of injuries in that twice in a lifetime match. So for him to, so if that happens again, like you said, if he wins the Academy, if he wins the Oscar, Hollywood's going to be probably going to sit down with Rock and be like, look, this wrestling thing, it's not happening. And then again, what will TKO do? As far as your theory on Vegas, I'm agreeing with you a lot there. I feel like somebody in TKO went, they probably said to themselves, Vegas deserve better, and they're going back. But my feeling is TKO loves Vegas, and they just saw the monies. They saw the dollar signs that this WrestleMania this year pulled in, and they went, you know what? How about we do it again? And for anybody who's planning to go to WrestleMania next year, okay, cool. It's on you. Again, I joked that I didn't go to SummerSlam this year because of Cardi B, though that is half true. But the second I saw the prices for SummerSlam, this is just SummerSlam. Granted, it was a 2-night SummerSlam. When I saw that Nosebleed was $450 for what I paid $50 for WrestleMania 35 6 years ago, I said, no, thank you. Friends of mine went. I went, all right, cool. I just could not do it. So I can't even fathom what the prices would be next year for WrestleMania in Vegas. Hell, even tickets for a WrestlePalooza front row is like $12K or something like that. I don't know. I saw the numbers real fast. So TKO just loves the money. They're going to go back to Vegas. Like you said, it's the entertainment capital of the world. And I'm sorry to London. You guys didn't get your WrestleMania. I'm sure Saudi Arabia is going to get it before you guys. But every year, I think TKO is going to see the dollar signs. And again, not even a match is going to be signed. The tickets are going to go on sale. They're going to sell out. If demand is there, people will pay. But unfortunately, it's going to be not families or stuff like that. It's going to be friends just gathering like, hey, want to split the bill on your hotel room or a car rental. But yeah, I think personally, again, seeing The Rock, I'm going to vote no. But again, I'm like you guys. I'll believe it when I see it, because right now I'm not believing it. Even if he comes back, I'll just be sitting there saying like, all right, book the match. Not just like, hey, he's going to come out, do his little spiel. Once you book the match, then I'll get into the hype.
Go ahead,
Yes,
Matt.
thank you, Uthman. Aaron, or do you want to go to Matthew first?
Matthew can go.
I mean, I just want to. I agree with a lot of what both Gino and Uthman said. I fell for the hype. You know, I hate to say it, and it makes me sick that Meltzer was right. But you know, I didn't think that The Rock was going to pull what he pulled. I thought The Rock was going to be there. You know, I was very hyped for the Cena heel turn. I mean, getting to hang out with Gino and going to Saturday Night Main Event to see a heel Cena is something that, you know, I'll cherish for the rest of my life. I just hate that the heel turn didn't become better. And a lot of that is because we expected more from it. You know, when that Mania main event happened and all we got was Travis Scott, you felt everything just go silent. You felt the air taken out of everyone because we realized The Rock just screwed everyone. And I really, and I said it before, TKO, especially Nick Khan, who, him and The Rock go way back, he better have sat down with The Rock and said, look, you either play ball or go make your movies and we'll just leave you on the board because we can't have you pulling this on us, especially on WrestleMania, our biggest show. And, I agree that they're trying to make good on Vegas again, but I feel bad for New Orleans. I feel bad for Indianapolis. They're now getting this WrestlePalooza, which I think is kind of a goofy name, but maybe it will make up for it if the rumors of Brock and Cena is going to be the main event. But I feel like that needs to be a SummerSlam match, not some new pay-per-view that they just threw together to counteract, Tony Khan. But that's a whole nother story. And yeah, it's an ECW name, but I'm sorry, Brock versus Cena does not sound like something you would have at WrestlePalooza. You would have Brock versus Cena at SummerSlam or WrestleMania.
I agree with you, Matthew, but in this new era, like where CM Punk versus Seth Rollins blow-off match essentially happens at Raw on Netflix, where you've got Ula Fala changing hands, Raw on Netflix. Like, you couldn't have just made this event, whatever the next PLE was. You had to bring in something. They're trying to make WrestlePalooza feel like a big deal. It's the initial event on ESPN. They're trying to drive people to that app. I still think people are going to be watching a lot on the high seas, but they're trying their best to get people to go into that event thinking that it's a big deal. I wouldn't be surprised if they make that a yearly event. At this point, the premium live events are like every 3 weeks. Don't get me wrong. I freaking love it. There's meaningful WWE matches happening every other weekend, essentially. And that is awesome to me. I do see your concern, though. It should be higher, but I also thought the same thing about Solo versus Roman and Seth versus Punk. But they're clearly willing to do these matches to sell a new, like, switching people over to something new, whether it's Netflix, whether it's ESPN, whether it's to USA Network, whatever the situation is whenever they're signing those new deals. Aaron, Matthew, I know Uthman paid for it, but Matthew unlocked a new rant, one of my rants. You said you had something you wanted to say, and I am going to go into ranting about that.
Well, I do want to get to the super chats and save the rant for the end.
Okay,
just so
you got it.
That's done before the top of the hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so Building Nexus sent in $2. Thank you, Building Nexus. Much appreciated. We're talking about potential WrestleMania matches. Could they do Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk at WrestleMania as an FU to AEW? I think I mentioned this on one of the streams. My prediction right now is they will do Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins as the WrestleMania main events. They might do Seth Rollins versus CM Punk and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, but I expect those four to be in the night 1 and night 2 main events. That's my prediction as of now. So Cody and Punk at WrestleMania, I absolutely think that that's a possibility. Anybody have an opinion on that, good or bad? No?
I would like to say Virtue is obviously more right than he is wrong. And I did not want to believe that WWE took AEW seriously as competition. He kept saying it's a slap in the face. They're having Cody and Punk and all these guys in the main event, and they're pushing these guys. And then they'd bring over some of their other talent and then send them to NXT and then basically act like Jade had no idea how to wrestle and barely put her on TV for almost a year. So I am starting to believe, especially now, that the proof's in the pudding. Virtue was absolutely right, and he was ahead of his time with this. WWE is actively booking events to counteract AEW, as if that's going to stop any true AEW fan from watching their event, or if that's going to stop any WWE fan from watching the events. You can watch them on demand. Like, we live in especially with these streaming services. So it's just petty, and we talked about that last week, but I do believe eventually we are going to get CM Punk versus hopefully Cody Lander, heel Cody Rhodes, however you want to do it. at a WrestleMania main event, night 2, and I believe that's when CM Punk is going to get his true second night main event, closing the show, closing the event. And it will be a slap in the face, whether they mean it to or not, but it definitely feel like they mean it to.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be very entertaining to see people's reactions to that one.
Mhm.
All right. Shout out to Virtue. Virtue threw in $2 and said, "What are your true feelings about being called a mark? What do you think?" Gino, you mark?
I know he ain't talking to me, but I will answer the question. It can go both ways, right? If like Virtue uses it in a very trolly, hilarious way, especially if you dare to follow his ex. But if like I'm talking to like say one of you guys and you guys were just like, "Oh, you're a mark," and I would probably be like, I feel like you're trying to demean me with that. But at the end of the day, wrestling is entertainment, and if I am letting them take me on a ride as a viewer, like we shouldn't necessarily be made fun of for that. And it's honestly not something I would take that much offense to, right? I might even make a shirt. I'm a mark, throw it up on the NoDQ merch channel. Why not? Because it's okay to like what you're watching and believe what they're telling you. I mean, the Seth Rollins injury notwithstanding, I do believe that it's okay to enjoy the product, whether that means you're a mark or not. It would have to depend on the person who's using its definition of it, I would say, for me personally.
All right. Marshall, are you a mark? What's your take on that?
I don't think I'm a mark. I like professional wrestling, but that's not my life either, though. I still have. I like football. I like basketball. I like other sports as well.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, there you have
Love
it.
that.
I mean, I think if you invest in wrestling at all, you are a mark to some degree, but there could certainly be bigger marks than others. I mean, some are just out of this world. I mean, JJ, you're a pretty big mark. I mean, you're up there. You like 4 or 5 different promotions. That's a mark. What do you think? Not sure if he wants to comment.
I think he's having audio issues.
Dang,
that's his response.
Technical.
He says, "I'm out of here."
Very convenient.
Technical
He took his
difficulty.
ball and went home.
Matthew is a mark, but not for AEW, correct?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I've been called far worse things than a mark. I mean, I'm called a nerd, a geek, because I'm a gamer. I love comic books. I love Transformers. But it's another word to me. It's like e-drone and all these other things people call. It's like, okay, that's the best you've got. And I mean, if you take it seriously, that's you. I mean, it's like the people that actually get mad at me when I call the Young Bucks Rod and Todd. If that makes you mad, then there's a problem. I mean, I grew up. I don't watch as many sports as I used to, but I grew up being a sports fan, and you always made fun of the other team. You called them names because that's what sports fans do. You do it to rile up the other guy, but if you take it too seriously, that means you're taking it too seriously, and maybe you need to walk away. So, I mean, being called a mark is just another thing, being like me being called a nerd, a geek, or whatever. It's just a name that, whatever, if that's how you feel, okay.
Matthew, I love that you made mention of that because it reminded me of Jeff Foxworthy's textbook joke. You might be a redneck if. You might be a mark if me not calling them the right names offends you, right? I feel like we could have a whole series on you might be a mark if, so that could be something worth looking into. Yes, Aaron.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not a bad idea. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2 and says, "Is WrestlePalooza and All Out starting at the same time?" I mean, we don't know at this point. We know All Out is supposed to start at the usual 8 p.m. Eastern. Time will tell if WWE causes AEW to move their time. I think WWE Palooza, WrestlePalooza, whatever we're calling it, will be like at 7 o'clock or something like that. But I'm thinking right now there's a good chance. Yeah, right now. We don't know for sure because WWE. Did they say 7 o'clock?
It says 6:30 on the website, but that's probably for like the little bit of the pre-show, get the fans in the building. I believe it's going to be starting at 7, but it does say 6:30 Eastern on the website.
I don't know if AEW has confirmed anything yet, but maybe we'll find out on Dynamite. Once they start hyping up All Out, they'll announce something. I mean, as of now, I would think it's going to be at 8 o'clock, their usual time.
Is WrestlePalooza going to be on ESPN national television?
It will be
That's,
on
I
the
think,
ESPN
I'm waiting
app.
to see, right? On the
Yeah,
app
it's
for
gonna be
sure.
on
But
the
will it also
ESPN.
be on the national TV?
I mean, I think you need that app, the $30 app, or you have to have Hulu Plus Live TV. It's confusing. They didn't do a very good job of explaining how to access WWE on ESPN. I mean, I'm confused, and I'm supposed to do this stuff for a living and know what's going on. I'm confused about the situation. So
My cable provider has it. I have Optimum TV here in Jersey, and I was curious. I went on my phone and realized that the original, I only had the ESPN app for scores and updates and all that jazz, but they have a new feature there that has the new ESPN app. So I logged in with my cable information. I have it. So yay, no $30 for me. I just got to put it on my TV now.
all right, well, regardless of the situation, WWE is just trying to get money. You know, as Justin Bieber said, money, 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 money. That's all WWE cares about is money. So if you don't know what the hell you're doing with your subscriptions, well, you better figure it out and pay up, because that's how WWE
As ESPN now stands for, everybody start paying now.
Bingo. Unfortunately, JJ has been in the role of Big G. He was Big G's replacement, and he's having the Big G technical difficulties. I don't know if we're going to get JJ back, but we got one more super chat here from Psycho Jet Black. He says, panel, is Austin Theory the future of pro wrestling? I'm going to say no, but if they turn him babyface and give him a push as a good guy, maybe he has a shot of being an upper mid Carter, but I don't see it at this point. So I'm leaning towards no, with all due respect to Austin Theory. I don't think that we should just give up on him, though. I think that there is maybe potential for him if he turns babyface, but they really should have done a better job with the Grayson Waller angle. Now, maybe Theory's hurt and they can't do it, but they should have done it like 6 months ago when they were teasing the split between those guys. So that's all I got to say about that. Gino, go ahead.
I do want to say we talked in the first hour about, and a few reviews ago, about the age. We got dream matches, and you really only have a lot of these veterans. There's not a lot of young talent, at least male talent, that we could see might have a future in like main eventing stuff. Obviously, they're promoting Braun Breaker. You got a little bit of Bronson Reed. I'm not really sure his age, but I think it would be almost dangerous to the business to not think somebody as young as him, Austin Theory I'm talking about, with his potential to be a baby face, a really big baby face character, whether it's upper mid card or whether it's main event. It's dangerous to just throw these young guys to the wayside when we're all complaining, not all of us, but for the majority, we want to see these younger stars get these true pushes and be able to be in that main event scene. I think he can handle it. I really do. You don't put somebody in the ring against John Cena if you don't think that they can hang with it. It's just his booking has been bad. It's not like his in-ring work is bad. Everything he's been told to do, he's been committed to it. Like, I mean, look at Drew McIntyre. He was the chosen one, and then everybody was like, blah, 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 free MB, whatever, nonsense. Then he comes back, and now he's perennial, upper mid-card main eventer. Like, I do believe that these young guys, I mean, crap, he's got another 15 years before he hits the ages of some of these guys in the main event right now. I think it's dangerous to assume that he doesn't have the potential to be the future or one of the futures of wrestling.
Well said there, Gino. Any other thoughts on Austin Theory? Anybody got an opinion? Matthew?
I think Matthew does.
I mean, like you said, if Theory doesn't work as a babyface, maybe he needs to do the Cody and Drew thing. Maybe he needs to go away from WWE, prove his worth outside of the company, and then show that he can be the chosen one like Drew did, like Cody did. Because I think there is a lot of potential in Theory, but yeah, his booking, ever since the Money in the Bank, he's never really recovered from that. And the Grayson Waller thing was pretty good for a little while, but then that fell apart. And, just the way that they've ended it, he's injured and that's the end of the story. And it's like the MJF Hurt Syndicate thing, which is another good example. You know, that just seems to be done. I hope that's not the case, but I think, yeah, if turning Grace Austin Theory babyface doesn't work, I think the only other option would be have him either go to TNA or maybe even go to AEW, reestablish his character, prove his worth, and then come back 5 years from now. He'd be probably in his 30s and show what should have been done with him in the first place.
All right. Well said there, Matthew. I don't know if he's going to go to TNA or not. I mean, he's got a shot as a babyface. Bring him back, give him a push as a good guy, and we'll see what happens with that.
Give him a decent storyline, like something decent. Not, I'm going to cash in my Money in the Bank title for the United States title nonsense. Like, give him something to sink his teeth into, since he's shown you he'll do whatever you ask. And give him something and let him go.
There you go. Psycho Jet Black says, remember, people will find a way to watch wrestling. Thank you for that, Psycho. And it's true.
Wink.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think people will subscribe to ESPN. They'll figure it out. They'll pay the money, or they'll get the package deal, the Hulu Plus Live TV or some sort of cable package. They'll figure it out, and people will be watching the PLEs. You know, WWE has a product that's very popular, and people will pay top dollar for it. And somebody's smoke detector keeps going off. So I think on that note, it may be time to start wrapping things up here. Gino, any final thoughts or rants you got to get off your chest before we start doing our plugs?
I do. And I will save one for later. I do want to address this run, because I can address my Cena rant at another time because he's got time. But I want to talk to you guys about Clash in Paris. Last year, one of the most hot crowds in pro wrestling history, Lyon, France, Backlash. That card might have been meh, however you want to call it. But the fans made that event extraordinary. When they were yeeting with their phones on and the lights down, Corey Graves, it's like the walls are moving, or was it Pat McAfee? Can't even remember who said it. Doesn't matter. It was epic. We are still not only talking about that crowd, but those chants, mind you, that they started, didn't exist before them. The singing of Cody Rhodes' name and Roman Reigns and Dirty Dom and things like that, they're still being used not only overseas, but also in America since then. So they were a super hot crowd on a mid-show. They were revolutionary in creating new chants. How often do we get new chants from the crowd organically? The audacity, the egregiousness of WWE not booking AJ Styles when all they want to do is chant their France soccer team phenomenal song is mind-blowing. Okay, but Gino, it's going to be on Raw. Okay, when was the last time you went and watched a full episode of Raw that wasn't a month old? I'll wait, because you haven't. But you will go back and watch premium live events that were good from start to finish. I know I will. I know I go back occasionally and watch WrestleManias, some of the other great pay-per-views from start to finish, because the event was great and the fans make it great. This is the exact opposite of how Vince McMahon used to try things. He's trying to give the fans what they want. He said it as much in the Hulk Hogan documentary that was on Fox, the TMZ documentary, which was a great watch, by the way. This is very clearly, and I alluded to this earlier, TKO trying to stretch thin. They got a little piece of bubble gum and they're trying to stretch it thin, and, you know, not give the people what they want, but kind of sort of throw away, give the people what people are going to buy the premium live event. So we got to find a way to sell tickets to Raw. I know we'll put somebody that clearly France, especially with their phenomenal song. That's a France specific song, and they're not giving this to them. Say what you want about the ladies match taking the spot. I mean, freaking put the match on the card somewhere. It is absolutely the epitome of how TKO thinks that they can give the fans what they want, but really try and force us into continuing to buy the product and stretching this stuff thin. I know it was in Lyon. This is in Paris. Forgive me. I'm going to give the entire country of France credit, because I guarantee you not everybody in that crowd at Backlash was from Lyon, France. I guarantee you people drove in from Paris or flew in or whatever. It's not the biggest country in the world. Remember, America takes a long time to get across the country, not in countries in Europe. It's a lot more streamlined. The atmosphere on Raw and the environment on Raw is just different than a premium live event. It's upsetting. I don't believe that this is Triple H's creative. I do believe that TKO and their short-sighted thinking, and that's really what it comes down to, is short-sightedness. I don't believe it's Tony Khan or Nick Khan's fault. I don't believe it's Triple H's fault. This is TKO trying to pepper in things that they think we might want to see and try and consider it long-term storytelling, when in reality, it's just them not wanting to give the fans what they want. When you have fans in Louisiana, I think it was Baton Rouge or Lafayette, can't remember, they won't even bring shows back because the crowd was sitting on their hands the whole time. So you'll punish the crowds who don't listen, even though a whole generation of fans might want to come and show you that we can do it better. And then you've got a crowd like Lyon, France, and people in France, and you're not going to give them what they clearly are telling you they want. You can argue whether that's fair or unfair until you're blue in the face. But what's unfair is not giving a crowd that hot and that enthusiastic for your product, an elevated event that they want to see. Rant over.
All right. Well said, Matthew.
I want to just piggyback off that. I mean, I agree. AJ versus Dom should be on the pay-per-view. Yeah, they're going to do it at Raw in Paris, but the pay-per-view should be it. Same with the fact that Stephanie McClure should have some sort of match. I don't care what it is. She should have had a match at the pay-per-view as well. And it's crazy that we're also getting Dom versus Solo on SmackDown and not pay-per-view. But there was a rumor, according to Meltzer, that there were 3 more matches set up for Clash at Paris. One was supposed to be Solo and Sammy. So I don't know if they're going to do a rematch or, of course, he's blowing smoke out of his rear end like normal. But I think Stephanie and someone was set up, and I don't remember what the third match was supposed to be. But, yeah, I agree with Gino. The crowd is hot for AJ. AJ should be getting, especially if we think AJ is going, this might be spoilers for predictions. If AJ is going to win, it needs to be at the pay-per-view, and that crowd is going to blow the roof off the building. And it shouldn't be at Raw.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I hate to say it because my wife is a big Nikki Bella fan, but they should have swapped those matches. Put Nikki's match with Becky on Raw and put a match with Dominic on the pay-per-view. But it is what it is, guys. All right, so on that note, I guess we can go ahead and start wrapping things up. Marshall, thank you for filling in tonight and being part of it. Anything you want to plug or promote, or any final thoughts on the state of wrestling?
I think AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio, I agree, should be on the pay-per-view, but it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it.
Anything you want to plug or promote?
Not really. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Thank you for being on, Marshall.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Marshall.
Thank you.
Aaron, I do want to mention that Psycho Jet Black did have that song link that you were going to play.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to close out with the song. Now, Psycho Jet Black sent in one more $2 super chat. Hot take, Bozilla has great potential. What do you say? I mean, I agree. And think about Stephanie Vaquer, and she was at Forbidden Door last year, and then WWE signed her. I hope AEW learned their lesson this time, and it's not a scenario where she can get signed. I believe she signed with Stardom, but you would think that whenever her deal is up, that WWE and AEW will make plays for her, because she stood out in that match. She was like, kind of the star of that match. So yeah, I think we'll see her in WWE or AEW at some point.
Well, it's Stardom that has to be on their toes, because like you said, what happened with Stephanie before when she fought Mercedes. So I think it's Stardom that should probably be, hey, let's look at your contract real fast. And obviously, if she gets a better deal from AEW or WWE, she's going to take it. But I think Stardom should be looking at her contract right now to hopefully keep her, because like you guys said, she was phenomenal in the pay-per-view. But people are going to be calling. So,
all right. Now, since we lost JJ, he did ask if we could plug Walter Cruz, because Walter Cruz is trying to reach a milestone on his channel. So make sure you guys follow Walter Cruz. Walter hasn't been on in a while. Hopefully we can get him back on soon. I know he recently did a move. But check out his channel and shout out to JJ the Renegade. Let me give a plug for him too. The Simply Reliable Studios. There you go. Check out those channels on YouTube. Support the No DQ panelists with their projects. Thank you to everybody for being part of this epic 350. We'll go ahead back to Oof. Oof, any final thoughts? And go ahead with a plug.
Nothing. Just again, gentlemen, thank you so much. 350 on to the next 50. Check out my channel, Oofman Entertainment, here on YouTube. My series, Getting with Oof. I'm working on a big one for this Thursday. We were asked earlier if you're okay with being a mark. Sure, I'm a mark of many things, and one of them is I'm a huge Michael Jackson mark, and his birthday's on Thursday. I'm going to reveal my top 10 greatest Michael Jackson songs of all time. I'm a Beatles mark. I'm a Rolling Stones mark. I'm so many marks when it comes to music, pop culture, movies. So I'm okay with being called a mark.
And he's got a biopic being split into 2 movies coming up as well. They had to delay it because there was an issue with the rights, and they put somebody in the movie that they were legally obligated not to include in any future movie. So I hope you talk about that. I look forward to hearing that. Oof, absolutely.
Yeah, I will definitely go see it when it comes out. But like I said, this Thursday, will be what was to be Michael's birthday. I will reveal Oofman Entertainment's top 10 Michael Jackson songs of all time.
All right. Yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of great ones. Pretty much anything from Thriller. I mean, that whole album is top tier stuff.
Well, you're gonna have to tune in to see what number one is. I mean, for all my friends who've known me for years, they already know what number one is. But like I said, check out the channel on Thursday. The video will be up. Top 10 Michael Jackson songs.
All right. And I even like the Paul McCartney song too. That's kind of like, probably people would consider that as the bottom song. I like The Girl Is Mine. That's a good one. All right. Matthew, anything you would like to plug or promote?
I mean, not really anything to promote. Check out NoDQ.com. Thanks to Oof, Gino, Aaron, Colin, Virtue, JJ, everybody that's part of the NoDQ family. I was on the 300th review. It's crazy that we're on the 350 review already, and I hope to be on the 400th review. And I do want to say my favorite Michael Jackson songs are probably Thriller, Bad, Beat It, which 2 of those I will actually get to see. I'm actually going to see Weird Al in concert later this month in September. And, some of his best songs are Michael Jackson songs. And I also always loved the song Jam because it featured the 2 greatest MJs of all time, Michael Jackson and Michael Jordan. But, besides that, thank you for, letting me be part of this family. And I look forward to the predictions this Thursday and everything that comes in the future.
Black and White's a good one too.
Yeah,
Black
just to
Hole's
answer
great,
that,
yeah.
just to answer that comment, I'm just doing his solo work, not Jackson 5 or the Jacksons, just Michael Jackson from Off the Wall through Invincible. So,
does Ben count?
You know what? We'll throw in Ben in there, but yeah. So any of his solo records or any of his solo records, no Jackson.
That was like
Jackson
the
5.
transitional period between.
He was He released Ben. That was his first official solo album. So from all his solo albums, no Jackson 5, no Jacksons, no Jackson Victory Tour, just simply his solo work as just Michael Jackson himself.
All right, there you have it. So we got a little bit of Michael Jackson talk. I wasn't expecting that, but it's episode 350. Shout out to everybody who was on for hour 1. Much love to hour 2. Gino, go ahead with your final thoughts. And then when we close out, I will play Psycho Jet Black's song. It's a remix, so I don't think it's the original, but it is a remix version. Gino, final thoughts?
Yeah, first, I definitely want to say great job with the song, Aaron. I look forward to you sending me that so I could use that moving forward. That'd be great. Here's my new plug, guys. Come check me out on YouTube, Papagino0017. I am just over 750 subscribers. We are working our way to 1,000. I do live video gaming. I have my Major Push Wrestling podcast on Wednesdays. But this Wednesday, we're doing predictions post-mortem with the Simple Man, Noah Foster. We're going to be breaking down how everybody's predictions played out for Forbidden Door and NXT Heatwave. Check out the SummerSlam recap before that. And with this being episode 350, I just wanted to thank every single one of you guys in the NoDQ Galaxy, whether you're watching live or on demand, whether you're an original like Marshall, or whether you're brand new like our friend that came in and started super chatting. We love every single one of you, and we couldn't be here without you. I know it's typical in wrestling to thank the fans, but it's truly a pleasure for us to do this. I can't necessarily speak for Aaron, but I think I can when I say it is our pleasure to provide you guys this content, and we look forward to entertaining you to 350 plus more. And as always, catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Yep. Thank you for that, Gino. If I need therapy, I always can find somebody close by. I got my wife. I got you. I'm good for therapy.
That's all you need.
Right. And I got just the NoDQ panel for therapy in general. All right, guys, that's it. This is from Psycho Jet Black. Say yes to NoDQ.com. I guess enjoy the song. And here's to another 350 episodes of the NoDQ review.
Good evening, everybody. We are live for the NoDQ.com review. This is your host, Aaron Rift. Friends of show, man, no time for sleep. Wrestling talk, rage, until knees get weak. Opinions crash, clash like